Hey, Max here. Um, was just doing some thinking and feel like there's a lot of pressure on young people to become something and make something of their lives and fit into a lot of these boxes of success and normalcy and whatever else that are oftentimes decided and dictated, that the example for these boxes, the roles for these boxes, is shown by whoever really has the power and money to set those examples. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but when you have people in their mid 20s, early 20s, acting like they need to have their entire life together, like they need to go to college and get a degree, and they need to get a job as like a business entrepreneur, and they need to do all of these things not because they want to, but because that's what they've been told and taught that success is. And I used to fall for that. I used to be the kind of guy who I thought, before I was really aware of myself, and I didn't become aware of myself to the extent I currently am until I was kind of forced to through a series of highly traumatic events. But when I had everything I thought I wanted, and what I thought I wanted, what I thought was my baseline for success was getting a job, getting a partner, being fully self sufficient. Those were my baselines. In a part of 2021, I had all of those things. I was living in a room that I was renting fully myself, using the money I was making at my retail job, which at the time was I was working for Goodwill, and I had a partner. I was dating a girl from the Netherlands, and I had everything I thought would make me happy, but I was more miserable than I've ever been in my entire life because I'd finally reached what I thought was normal. I wasn't out yet at the time, not publicly. I think I came out as Max around New Year's of last year, right around the dawn of 2022, and during that time, about a year ago, there came a point where I realized either I needed to start listening to myself and taking my emotions seriously, or I was going to die. I had been suicidal to a point where it was no longer a matter of if I was going to do it, it was a matter of when. And so I had to teach myself to stop listening to people because everyone I was listening to didn't get it. And I trusted them. I trusted all of those people to know what was right for me. But they didn't. And that's not their fault, not necessarily. Well, for some of them, it kind of was. But, life is complicated, and we're all on different journeys and paths. And I'm someone recovering right now from complex post traumatic stress disorder, which the difference between PTSD and CPTSD is PTSD is diagnosable from one event, and CPTSD is a series of traumatic events feeding into each other, oftentimes. And I just want to say it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have your life figured out at like 20 something. And you are allowed to be whatever the frick you want to be. Because all that exists in this material world is subject to change. Anything you think you own that you can't defend can be taken away from you at any moment. And that's not something to fear, it's something to accept. And I've been forced to accept that. And it was only after I accepted that eventually this body will die, eventually this room won't be here, eventually anything I cling on to for safety is, in the grand scheme of things, temporary. So I had to build it from within. And I had to build something that, no matter what happens to me, can't be taken away. And for me, that was finding spirituality and magic and other stuff. And for other people, it can be things like art or writing or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything specific. But it's okay to not know and to still need time to heal. You don't have to be for other people. It's all right to just be yourself.